Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth here, Bridget's Well. I am doing this video today to talk a little bit about Samhain time of the year. And today is November 5th, which I realize is technically after Halloween, Samhain, Day of the Dead, but I was actually sick last week, so I didn't get a chance to make this video. And I wasn't going to at first, but then I kind of got the hint that I still needed to. And technically, calendar Samhain is the 6th, 7th-ish of November, so I'm actually on time for that. But I really just wanted to discuss or talk about my view on how I'm going to say Halloween, Samhain, Day of the Dead all together, because to me, this time of year has always been one of my favorite times of year, even before I was pagan or witchy, or knew I was pagan or witchy. It just kind of fell into place that it just so happens to be a very big time of the year for most witchy people. And I also have to apologize if you hear a slight fan noise. If you can kind of see from my crazy hair, there's a fan going over here. We use window air conditioning units in this house. We actually took the one in this window out because we had a Asian ladybug issue, and there were a lot of them. So it's a little warm in here, a little warmer than usual in here, so I have a fan on just to kind of keep the air moving. So if you hear that noise, I hope it's not too loud or too distracting. So Halloween, Samhain, Day of the Dead, to this time of year is typically in witchy circles is time to honor the ancestors. When people talk about the veil being thin between this world and the other world, a lot of people consider this to be Pagan New Year. Of course, Samhain comes from old Celtic traditions of the last harvest festival, the turning of the year from the light to the dark, which I guess technically that was at the equinox, but this is also a time of going further into the dark. It's really a good time to, like I said, connect with your ancestors, go into meditation, put up an ancestor altar. So a lot of people will do meditations, connecting with people they've lost within the past year. You also read things about people doing dumb suppers where they will invite the ancestors and have a supper where they will leave a plate out. I have read that some people do these completely silent. So I'm assuming that's where the dumb would come from. I'm not an expert on this. So to me, this time of year is really a time for inner reflection, thanking those that have gone before us, and just kind of starting to go within more. So typically in the past, even though I live in the South, typically this time of year you would start feeling those weather changes. And it would usually start at the beginning of October, where it would be those crisp mornings, the leaves would change colors, you know, you get that, people would be burning leaves, so sometimes you kind of have that fire, smoky scent in the air, and it just felt different to me. And I even liked this when I was younger, like before I knew I was pagan, when I was a child, as a teenager. It was my favorite time of year. Now, granted, my birthday is in October, so that probably had a little bit to do with it, but fall and autumn has always been my favorite season. However, since it's been a little warmer than usual the past couple of years, I think for me, it's been a little harder to get into the feeling of it. Like right now, today, it's November 5th, and it's 76 degrees outside, which if you live in Florida or maybe more southern areas than we do, that might be normal. For us, it's not normal. It makes it really hard to enjoy fall when you step outside of your car and it feels like it should be summertime. or springtime. So for me, I'm a person who kind of likes the cooler weather. I mean, I don't like cold weather, but I do like the cooler weather, the crispness in the air in the fall, and I really am missing that this year. And I think that might be part of it. Like, I haven't really felt like doing a whole lot for the season this year. And part of that too is probably because a lot of our decorations and magical things are packed away currently in storage. Actually, they're not in storage. There's a closet over there where we put a lot of our fragile and like stuff we didn't want, because our storage unit isn't climate controlled. Stuff we didn't want out in the weather, in a way. But we just haven't been as, this year has been so different for us as far as trying to get ready to move and all the traveling we've done, and it's been a little harder to honor the seasons like we usually do. But I think for this year, Halloween Samhain has been extra hard because it's so warm outside. Like, I literally walk outside and you're like, what is going on? Now, whether or not you believe in global warming is up to you. Personally, I do believe that it's occurring, because I don't remember multiple years of it being this warm in the past. Now, occasionally, you would have like what they would call an Indian summer, where it would get cold, and then for like a little bit it would get warm again, and then it would get cold. But it's like the opposite. It's been warm and we had like a week of cold, and it's warm again. I think it's getting ready to go back down, but it kind of takes away, for me, it takes away from fall when it's not cooler outside and crisper. Of course, the leaves are still changing here, but yeah, it just hasn't been the same. But so for me, there's really 3 different holidays within this season. And first is Halloween. And so I've struggled in the past with Halloween and Samhain because they're on the same day. And my husband is very big into Halloween. He has certain traditions that he likes to do on Halloween day. We go up to family and we spend time with family, and also give out candy to the trick-or-treaters in the neighborhood, and we don't get them here at all. So typically that's what we do on Halloween. And it's been kind of hard at times, because when you are having Samhain, which is a kind of a quiet, to me, is a quiet, reverent holiday, and then Halloween on the same day, it felt very rushed to me a lot of the times. And so this year, and actually no, it was last year, I found out that some people celebrate Samhain on astrological Samhain. So this year I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have like separate. So I'm going to have a Halloween, and then I'm going to have Samhain. And then there's also Day of the Dead thrown in there in between the two. So for me, Halloween is more about carving pumpkins and eating candy and trick-or-treating and, putting up all the fun decorations and that sort of thing. So it's more of a secular holiday for me, kind of like Christmas and Yule, which I can do a video about that around that time too. Because yes, I celebrate Christmas, but I also celebrate Yule. So that doesn't mean I get double presents though. Dang it. But anyway, so for me, Halloween is secular. It's more fun, it's more secular. Not that Samhain can't be fun. And then you have Day of the Dead, which, let me first off say I do not have any Hispanic background in my lineage whatsoever. But I have been interested in Day of the Dead actually since I was a teenager. So, and back then, because I remember there's a shop here in Nashville, kind of a little eclectic. Back in the 90s when I was a teenager, it was a little eclectic kind of hippie store. Now it's still there, but it's more hipsterish, which is fine, but it's just not quite the same as it used to be. But it was, and that was the first place I ever saw the little Day of the Dead figurines, which are, the little skeletons, sometimes they're people with skeleton faces, or they're just skeletons, like doing different things, playing instruments or riding bicycles. So, and I always thought they were cool, but at the time I was young and I thought, God, people would think I was morbid if I got those. Um, and so I never really did until I got a little older, and I just happened to be in that shop again one time. I might have been in college, I'm not 100% sure. And so I saw these little figurines, and they were three little nuns, three little skelenuns, and they were see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil little nuns, but their little booties were, they had on the nun habits, but their little booties were showing and their skeleton faces. And they were like, you know, like they were so cute and tiny. I had to have them. I still have them actually somewhere. They're packed away. At least one or two of them. One of them broke, and I think my husband fixed it, but I'm not sure if we kept that one or not. So as I got older, I started collecting some of the Day of the Dead sculptures. Back when eBay was kind of young and you could get a lot of really cool, like unusual stuff. This was pre-Etsy, of course. I would buy actual, you know, the actual little Day of the Dead figurines from Mexico. So I have a few of them, you know, and a lot of people, they would make little figurines to represent people and what they used to enjoy in their lives. So if you enjoyed playing the guitar and you had passed, they might buy a figurine of the skelly person playing a guitar to represent you, to put on their altars. So Day of the Dead is a huge holiday in Mexico, and it might also be in other Latin American countries. Please let me know in the comments if it is and I'm incorrect, but be nice. I'm going to try to not say things that I don't know are true. But it's typically, not typically, it is celebrated on November 1st and 2nd. November 1st is, from what I've read, is the day where they honor the children and babies that have passed. So it's a little bit more of a somber day. The 2nd is the day where they honor the adults. And like I said, I could be wrong about that, but that's what I've read. And so it's to me, it's an incredibly wonderful holiday. And you actually start to see you started seeing more of the cultural items being commercialized and mass marketed up here. You know, the little sugar skulls are on everything, and you see a lot of sugar skull Halloween decorations, which I actually love. I think they're adorable. But it has become a little bit more commercial within the United States. So I think in a way that's a good thing, because people are more aware of the holiday. But at the same time, it's like you don't want to cross that line where you're making fun, I don't want to say making fun of, but making light of the holiday, because it's a serious holiday. People are honoring and respecting their dead that have gone before them. They're remembering those that have passed. So it's not just a decoration on the wall. So there's Day of the Dead as well. And there's also a lot of other traditions that go along with Day of the Dead that I don't know enough about to really talk about. But I always thought of it as, once I learned more about it and realized that it wasn't a morbid holiday, that it was really about honoring those that have passed and remembering those that you loved. And, you know, people in Mexico will go out and spend the night at the gravesite and decorate them with these beautiful flower arrangements and candles, and take food. And it's really a lovely way of honoring your ancestors. So Halloween, Day of the Dead, and usually I would kind of honor Day of the Dead as well. This year it was a little different. Since a lot of stuff is packed away, I don't have it at hand. So Samhain then is, I guess, technically like pagan Day of the Dead. So once again, we're honoring our ancestors. We are creating ancestor altars. We are, a lot of the rituals I've been to in the past, we specifically will name those that we've lost in the past year. And of course you can always name others that you've lost. But I guess Samhain is more of a Celtic or pagan Day of the Dead. So we usually would try to put up a little ancestor altar, spend a little time in meditation. The past couple of years we've actually been to like public rituals. but this year it didn't happen. So this year, like I said, it's a little different. It's been really warm, and with us trying to move and get the house back on the market, things have been a little crazy. And then also, I thought we had put all of our ancestor photos away, so I didn't really do much of anything about it until a couple of days ago. I did happen to find those pictures. So I made a little ancestor altar and put it up on our mantle on our fireplace. And we put some tea lights. I found pictures of our ancestors. I put up a couple of little statues, and I have these little crystal skulls. One is Kambaba Jasper, I think, and the other one is Lapis, that I just got from this amazing store called Crystal Shop on Etsy, which is where it's a really great place to get your skulls, if you like crystal skulls. I'll put a link in the comments. But I put that up there, and we put a couple tea lights we lit every night, and then we would just light them and thank our ancestors. So this year, really, Samhain has been very low-key for us. I don't know if it's just because we've got so much going on, or if it's because, really, honestly, it doesn't really feel the same to me as it has in the past. Maybe that's because the veil is thinner all year round now as things are changing on the planet. I really don't know. But I even was talking to a friend of mine a couple days ago, and he was telling me how they haven't even really done much themselves. And so I think it's just kind of, I don't know, but we really haven't been feeling the usual, like, you know, feeling that you get this time of year. We didn't do anything on Halloween, even though we had planned on going up to spend time with family. I was sick on the couch. I watched Practical Magic. That's one of my Halloween rituals that I do, is watch Practical Magic every year, because it's my favorite witchy movie, and it usually really gets me in the mood a little more. But I really wasn't feeling very well, so I wasn't actually. It's really weird because I always look forward to watching that at Halloween, and this year it was kind of like, ugh, I don't really feel like watching it. And then being sick on Halloween, I'd been on the couch all day already, and I was like, you know what, I kind of feel like watching it now, so I watched it. But yeah, it's been a kind of a strange Samhain season for me. Very, it just doesn't feel very Samhain-y. And I don't know if it's because, I think it's more because, maybe it's because of the weather. And maybe the veil is thinner all year round. I think in this day and age, we are pretty much constantly combated with crap. I'm probably gonna rant here a little bit. We are. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, so I think it makes it hard to, I think we're already constantly connected to the other side in a way, because there's so much going on, because there's been so much death lately, you know, nonsensical death. Not that sensical death is ever actually happens either, but violence and murder, and it just seems like maybe we've already been in Samhain season for a while. I really don't know, but this year it hasn't felt the same. But we did do our ancestor altar, and we did do a couple Halloween-y things, and just kind of said thank you to those who have gone before us, because, you know, we stand on the backs of the people that came before us, really. But yeah, so I would love to hear your thoughts on Halloween, Samhain, Day of the Dead, if you have any. I hope you had a happy Samhain if you've already celebrated it. If you're celebrating it here in the next couple days, I hope you have a happy Samhain. And as always, I wish you many, many blessings.